Okay, so ready to dive in. Today we're going way back, looking at the very beginning of social media,
Right.
like before it was even really called that.
Yeah.
We're talking like MySpace days.
Oh, wow. MySpace
Yeah, exactly.
taking me back.
Right. All based on this YouTube podcast script you sent me, The Evolution, Impact, and Future of Social Media, and specifically Episode 1, The Birth of Social Media, from MySpace to Facebook.
Okay. Got it.
So our mission today, if you choose to accept it,
Yeah.
is to pull out like the big turning points in those early days
Right.
and see why some platforms, became these huge things while others kind of just faded away.
Yeah.
And we'll also look at how it all began to change the way, everyone connects, right? Like how we all communicate now.
Definitely. That's a fascinating journey.
It is. It's really wild to think about, just how much things have changed.
Absolutely.
So let's start with,
Okay.
it feels almost obligatory.
Yeah.
MySpace, right?
Oh, yeah. Got to start there.
Launched back in 2003.
Yep. 2003.
That was like the original social network for so many people.
It really was for a lot of us.
Totally. You could like completely customize your profile,
Yeah.
share music, remember?
Oh, absolutely.
You spend hours embedding those songs.
Painstakingly, line by line.
So much code.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the infamous top 8.
Oh. The drum.
All the friend ranking. It was intense.
Yeah. Good times.
So, what does your source say about why MySpace eventually, kind of went downhill?
Well, it mentions scalability as a major factor.
Scalability.
Yeah. Like imagine you're trying to manage a city.
Okay.
But the infrastructure, the roads, the buildings, everything,
Yeah.
it's all built for like a tiny village.
So it just couldn't handle it.
Exactly. As more and more users joined,
Yeah.
MySpace just became really slow and hard to use.
It's interesting, though, because,
Yeah.
before MySpace was even like the big thing,
Right.
there was Friendster.
Oh, yeah. Friendster, another early player.
Yeah, back in the early 2000s. But then Facebook came along in 2004.
That changed everything.
It did, and your source points out some key differences
Right.
that really helped Facebook succeed.
Like what?
Well, for one, they insisted on real names.
Oh, yeah. A big shift.
Which, created a whole different kind of online environment.
It did. It made things feel more, I don't know, accountable maybe.
Yeah, like you couldn't just hide behind some made-up persona.
Exactly.
And the design, it was so much cleaner than MySpace.
Way less cluttered.
So much easier to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thinking about the bigger picture here,
Okay.
your source seems to suggest that having like a really smooth user experience
Right.
and a platform that's stable, that can actually handle growth.
Yeah, that's key.
That's super important for any online service that wants to be around for the long haul.
It's like building a house on solid ground. You need that strong foundation.
Exactly. So Facebook, they built their house on solid ground.
They do.
But they also, they weren't afraid to experiment.
Right.
Remember poking?
Oh, yeah, poking. That
Look,
was
they
a
never quite understood that.
bit of a mystery.
What are you actually doing?
Yeah, just a little digital nudge.
Good nudge. Okay.
But the real game changer
What's that?
that your source highlights was the introduction of the news feed back in 2006.
Oh, yeah, the news feed.
That was huge.
I remember that caused a lot of,
Controversy.
yeah, people were really concerned about privacy
Mm.
and how their information was being shared.
It really raised a lot of questions.
Like, what are the boundaries here?
Exactly. How much do you want to share online?
Yeah.
And with whom?
It's interesting because that whole debate
Yeah.
really set the stage for all the discussions we're still having today.
About data privacy.
Yeah, it's like we're still grappling with those same questions.
Absolutely. And your source also touches on
What's that?
Facebook's eventual impact on things like advertising
Yeah.
and even politics.
Right, that became a whole other can of worms.
It did, but that's maybe a story for another deep dive.
Definitely.
So while Facebook was becoming, this
Yeah.
giant for personal connections,
Mm-hmm.
other platforms were popping up
Right.
with totally different approaches.
Like
Twitter.
Twitter, yeah, launching in
Yeah.
2006.
That was all about short public conversations happening in real time.
Real time. That was a big thing.
It was. Suddenly you could see what people were thinking and doing.
Right now.
Right now.
And that character limit,
140 characters at first.
that really forced people to be concise.
Yeah, no rambling
A
allowed.
whole new way to get information quickly.
And share it too.
And then you have YouTube coming along in 2005.
YouTube.
Your source really emphasizes how it,
Yeah.
empowered anyone to become a creator.
Exactly.
You could just make a video
And share it with the world.
with the world, yeah.
It was mind-blowing at the time.
And you started seeing these early YouTube stars emerging.
Right. People who build whole careers
Yeah.
just by making videos.
The total phenomenon.
It was, and it really democratized content creation, as your source points out.
What do you mean by that?
Well, before YouTube,
Yeah.
if you wanted to reach a large audience,
Yeah.
you pretty much had to go through traditional media outlets,
So,
TV, radio, newspapers.
yeah.
But YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
it gave anyone with a camera the ability to reach millions of people
Directly.
directly.
That's a huge shift in power.
It really was. It opened up the playing field.
So from those customizable MySpace pages to Facebook's real name policy, and then the instant updates of Twitter and the user-generated content explosion on YouTube, it's incredible to see how these early platforms, they
Yeah.
really laid the foundation for what social media is today.
Absolutely. They were the pioneers.
They were, and I think it's worth considering
Yeah.
how much those early features and even the limitations of those platforms shaped the digital world we're living in now.
Yeah, like what echoes of those early days are still around
Exactly, what feels familiar.
and what's totally different.
Because those early steps, they really did set us on a path.
They set the trajectory.
Yeah, for better or worse.
For better or worse, that's for each of us to decide.
It is, and that's something to think about, right?
Absolutely food for thought
Food for thought.
as we continue navigating this ever-evolving digital landscape.
That's right, and that's a wrap for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.